Welcome, my beautiful souls. And Leo, welcome to the first month of your brand new year, which is going to be a universal year nine. I've been telling people, it's up to you, but I think it's a good idea to know what your personal year number is for the universal year nine. And I'll quickly tell you how you can do that. You take the day of birth, like, so what day you were born on, like I was born on the 13th. You take the month. I was born in September, so 9 and 13, and then you add that to the universal year 9. Mine happens to be a master number 22 for 2025. And that's the only time you don't, like, so you add them up, right, and it comes to 22. The only time you wouldn't add that 2 and 2 together is if it's a master number. So 11, 22, 33, or 44, you just let that be. Um, and then I would research, like, okay, so universal year 9 with the personal year, whatever it may be, what does that mean for you? Because I feel like you can get so much information from just that alone. So, and if you don't know how to figure out, there are free calculators online. Um, but I don't mind figuring it out for you. So, if you can't figure it out, just leave your birth month and your birthday, and I'll calculate it for you if you wish. Okay. So, anyways, this is going to be for my beautiful Leo suns, moon, rising, those intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. Those who are in love with the Leo, platonically or romantically, same thing. Well, same thing. I didn't tell you yet, but what I do is I read through my spirit guides, and my son, who I lost, has crossed over. I shouldn't say I lost, um, because I feel like he's right here. I feel like he's a big part of our guide, like is one of our major guides now for your reading. Also, my mom, I also feel her energy. So let's give a shout out real quick to the Leos in my life, starting with my grandson, Lexington, who is July 23rd. He's right on that cusp of Cancer and Leo. My mom was August 5th. My soul sister is August 16th, Diane. And my son was August 12th. And my boyfriend, who is right on the cusp, he is a Virgo, but he's the 23rd of August. And that puts him right on the cusp of Leo and Virgo. So interesting. I have a grandson on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, and my boyfriend on the cusp of Virgo and Leo. So, anyways, because I do read through my spirit guides, I feel it's fine to ask your guides to give you signs of confirmation. The way I look at a reading is you should be able to feel it. It should be a true energy exchange. And the reason why I feel a lot of people can feel the readings is because I feel we're all soul connected. We're like one big soul family, and we have new soul members coming every day. So welcome, welcome. Um, by the way, Happy New Year. This should be quite the year. Universal Year 9 is like that final push. The final push of what's got to go, what's no longer serving me, what's holding me back. Um, and it is the end of a 9-year cycle. So you can go back to 2017 and just, you know, look at that period of time. And what you want to do is really look at how you've grown, the things that you've overcome. Like, don't judge yourself at all, because you'd be the only one judging you. Your guides aren't judging you. God's not judging you. So what have I learned? How have I grown? It is your experiences that make you who you are today. So you don't want to regret them, because if they were difficult, you probably learned something. Um, And sometimes the lesson is simple as, well, I say simple, but it is like the letting go again of, let's just say, lower vibrational energy. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into your reading. We are going to use a few different decks. We're going to use Mother Mary for her words of wisdom. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. And deep we go. That's why the readings are longer. We're going to use the Romance Angels if love comes up. And I have to say, it's come up in every reading so far. One more thing I want to say. One of the reasons why love comes up in a lot of my readings is because I'm really doing a life reading. And that includes all areas of your life, your money, your family, situations you're dealing with, but also love. You know, love is part of life. So, anyway, we are going to use the major arcanas. For anyone who's new, I use them mainly for like bullet points, but I feel like they enhance the reading so much. I just love using them, so I may just continue on. I think this is the third month in a row, but I love them. And for your main spread, Leo, a deck that I don't know if I've ever, well, I probably have, but I cannot remember the last time that I was called to use this deck for you. And it is the Good Tarot, but we're gonna go ahead and use it. So let's go ahead and open up the Tarot portion. Let's go ahead and start with Mother Mary, get her beautiful words of wisdom for my beautiful Leos. Excuse my nails. I really was going to do my nails before I did your reading, but it just takes so long. And I thought, if any sign won't mind, it's you. Okay, we shall take that. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out, though. Okay. All right. Compassion. Compassion. I see and feel others' points of view with forgiveness and kindness. That's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And, I feel like if there's forgiveness that's needed, doesn't always mean, it very seldom means that you have to pick up the phone and like say, I forgive you. It's about forgiving within your heart. And it's really so you don't have to carry the weight around any longer. That's what becomes blocks, unforgiveness. And I already know some people are going to say, well, some people don't deserve forgiveness. And you're right. But this, again, is not really about them. It's just about you not carrying it with you. Allow yourself to be light as a feather. And then we have gratitude. As I notice and appreciate my blessings, I open the door to more of God's gifts. So the more grateful I am, the more things I have to be grateful for. Like the more things that come towards you that will put you in a state of gratitude. And I like this because it just sounds like it's not a one-time thing, you know, gifts with an S. But first, I have to notice and appreciate what I already have. And it is about being open, right? Like being open to receive. So we'll see. Compassion and gratitude. We'll put right over here. I'm going to go ahead and put this lid down. There we go. That's good. All right. Let's bring in the major arcanas. Going to give them a shuffle. And anyone who's new, all my cards are always pre-shuffled before I start your reading. I actually spent quite a bit of time shuffling because it's really It's my time just to meditate on you. All right. We have the devil, card of Capricorn. Can speak about temptations. Can speak of like illusionary type energy. But again, it's illusionary. I don't really read the major arcanas as people, though I'm also not going to leave that off the board. Today, by the way, is my granddaughter's birthday. And the reason why I thought about that is she's a Capricorn. All right. Hello, lovers. Card of Gemini. The meaning of the card is ahead of a hard decision, and that can certainly be the case. We'll see what is connected to it. Judgment. This is your spiritual team, and they are calling you to the present moment. They speak about a rebirth. They're blowing the trumpet right at the lovers. So it's like waking up. Who knows? Maybe these lovers are having like a spiritual awakening. Maybe each on their own, but then I mean, judgment is like wants us to look at these lovers. Okay. We have the death card, card of Scorpio. And then we have the chariot, your neighbor, card of Cancer. Wow. Let's put these aside. You know, when you see the death card, what you want to think about is transformation. And it's interesting because you have judgment that's talking about a rebirth. The death card usually signifies a door that, I don't want to say has to close, but it may serve you. I'm noticing like the sickle, like I'm using that sickle, like to clear the way for me. But, it normally does speak of some door that may need to be closed. Then you think of a universal year 9, the final push, what's serving me, what's getting in my way. Um, and then right behind the death card, so, closing of a door, and then you have the chariot. Chariot to me is often like a reward. And I say that because, if I try to rush something before it's time, let's say I want this chariot to come in, then it can, and maybe there's still a door open. Could be definitely energy that you just been tempted to. Um, yeah, and I just want to say this. I don't feel like this is for everyone, but I do feel like someone may have gotten like a false title. You may have given them a title that doesn't feel like if I called someone my soulmate, I don't feel, you know, and I know this is not for everyone, but I just don't. I feel like, probably not. Now, some of you may have been dealing with some karmic lessons. But remember, when you have a karmic lesson, and again, it could be like energy that seems to tempt you, but then you have to like be able to say, well, you're going to say yay or nay. Um, but then, to me, when the death card shows up and it asks you to close the door, it asks you to allow transformation in your life, it is a promise of a new door opening. And we're literally opening a new door now. And then the chariot behind it. So the chariot really is unlimited potential. It is your seed, it is your intentions that move the chariot. So you tell the chariot where to go. And I feel like that may be where some of the, like where I'm feeling a little bit of limited energy. Again, it could be because somehow I was connected to energy that just feels like it wasn't serving you, whether it was your own energy or someone else's. Do I feel like judgment is getting you ready for these lovers? I do, because the trumpet is being blown right at the lovers. Some of you, I feel like you're like, how do I say this? I feel like your love life has an opportunity to ascend. Now, I feel like many of you, it feels like you are at least on your way to a much higher vibration. And it makes sense that when we ourselves evolve, those who do not naturally want to fade away. It's like just the way the universe works. Our humanness is what pulls it back in. Again, something you may have been tempted to, maybe over and over. But this is the ability to be like, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. All right. Let's bring in the good tarot. And, I feel like every deck takes us a level deeper. And let's not be afraid of going deep. You know what I mean? Like, if we have shadows within ourselves, we have to know that. We have to know our shadow self. Name it, right? Don't fear it. Um, Even other people's shadows. It's like you have the power. You possess the power to not get hung up too long, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's interesting the back of these cards match the color of my desk. All right, let's continue. We have the Emperor. Card of Aries can be a father figure. Um, the Emperor is normally someone we look up to. And one of the reasons is because of the Emperor's own experiences and what he's chosen to do with them, and that is to help others. Definitely a leader of the people. This is also a great omen for self employment. This is like being the boss, but we'll see. And you know what else is interesting? I went back and forth between doing your reading and Aries, and you won out. And then Aries being the first card. That's interesting. We have the Messenger of Air. That is the Knight of Swords. Looking right back at the Emperor coming right under the lovers. Could that be some type of communication? It could be. Well, hello, Two of Cups. Holy cow. Right under judgment. So, like your spiritual team, they're not calling you to the present moment for no reason. Um, it's interesting how quickly I feel like we're getting into your love life. So here we have a soulmate, and judgment is the one, or your spiritual team is the one who's helping to guide you two together. I feel like the soulmates and the lovers are the same people. Um, it's like Cupid is getting ready to shoot that arrow, and your spiritual team just wants you to be ready. I also love that this is giving you confirmation that this person, knows your soul, you know theirs. Doesn't have to mean this lifetime. I don't mean that at all, actually. I just mean that your soul connected and always will be. Mm, soulmates. Another night, beautiful night, Knight of Pentacles. You know, it's interesting because the Knight of Pentacles is coming under the Death card. And the message of the Knight of Pentacles is a few different things. Number one is patience, because this knight comes in at the right time, not before, not after. To me, it means that it comes when you can truly appreciate and use the blessings that it brings. Because the Knight of Pentacles is bringing, let's just say, a pentacle, but I don't feel like it's a one time deal. And this pentacle is truly meant to enhance your life. And because it comes at the right time, and we know it's connected to the soulmates, but it's coming under the death card. So, again, what door needs to be closed? What is no longer serving you? Who is no longer serving you? And when I say serving you, I don't mean like, someone who's at your beck and call. You're serving each other, but who's not playing their part, let's say? So Knight of Pentacles would tell you, well, I can't come in while this one door is still open. Why? Well, because you wouldn't benefit from it the way you will if this door is closed. And it almost feels like the Knight of Pentacles is saying, I don't come in. I won't come in. But I feel like the minute that door is closed, then the Knight is like, okay, now it's my time. Love, love, love. I mean, how can we not make this a love reading, right? So, the lovers again, now mirrored by the Emperor. Let's see what comes underneath the Emperor. The Six of Pentacles. First of all, this is the energy that Mother Mary was really asking for. This really is compassionate, empathetic energy. This is definitely the energy. I feel like the Emperor here, um, I feel like he enjoys. I'm saying he, it can be a she, because remember we carry both feminine and masculine energy. But someone's falling in love, and I feel like this is talking about a good heart. This is someone who does care about other people. This is, something the emperor may have had to learn was that fine art of give and take. But the emperor will. If he was in reverse, then I would say different. Um, and then the death card again, transformation, right under the Knight of Swords. I feel like some of you may have been pulled back to someone who may have played like mind games with you. Because again, if we remember that the devil really does cast illusionary energy, in other words, sometimes you feel stuck when you're really not stuck. Or another way of saying that is there is a way out. And I feel like your spiritual team wants to show you the way. Um, I also feel like for some of you, this is also talking about a past life. Interesting. I say interesting because I don't know where. I think I was just watching TV one day, and it's interesting how I think about the sign that potentially I'm going to do way before I even do your sign. Like, thoughts will come to me, epiphanies. Um, but anyways, I was talking about past life love. And what I was thinking was that sometimes in a past life, our goal was to come together. But that doesn't guarantee us that we will come together. We can set that intention, but then we also have to be the action, right? Take the action that's needed. So I do feel like there was a lack of coming together. And maybe in this lifetime, you're going to try it again. And this could be why we have so much love on the board. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. I also feel because the Six of Pentacles is mirroring the devil. Again, that can mean Capricorn for some of you. I know that. But I feel like this is saying that there was at least a period in your life where, things weren't balanced. Maybe here, like I gave and gave and gave, someone wasn't giving back, right? Someone wasn't being who I really need them to be in love. By the way, when I say I mean you. I'm just a Leo right now. We have Justice. Justice card of Libra. Number 11. Some of you, this could be a twin flame action or energy also. Again, I don't even know that we need to put titles on it, though we do have soulmates. And we do have past lives. I feel that. But this is really talking about this lifetime and what can I do to really bring it about this time? Well, again, some of you got caught in a web and it's just getting yourself out of that web. Because I feel like the minute you do, then the Knight of Pentacles shows up. And we want this Knight to show up. So justice can certainly talk about cutting of ties, using the sword of justice. It's one of your gifts. It's one of all of our gifts, to use that sword when needed. It could be energetic ties, but cutting ties nonetheless. But what does it do? It immediately makes you feel balanced. Some of you immediately, it's this feeling of freedom. Doesn't mean I have everything I need. Maybe I lost a lot. Maybe I was connected with someone. Maybe we shared a home. And sometimes, it's funny, Sam and I were just talking about this. And I was saying, like, in a lot of my relationships that I left, I tended just to leave everything behind because I just wanted to leave. Anyways, justice is about what's fair and just in your life when it shows up in a reading. It's about making you whole again. But first, I got to use that sword. It's like judgment is saying, my dear, if you only knew what lies ahead, you would use that sword without trouble, without hesitation. But because you don't know, though you are getting a clue, it's harder to use that sword. The uncertainty can be one of the reasons why I can find myself in a repeat pattern. We have the world, the next chapter, which is exactly what we entered into. The next chapter. It's a 21. So you add that together, it's a 3. It should be a joyful time. Definitely a spiritual time. I feel like when we enter into the world's energy, it really is one of the most spiritual times in our life. I feel like 2025, we're going to see a lot of spiritual awakenings. And I feel like just as it was meant to be. You've probably heard me say this in other readings where I feel like those who have healing abilities, you're going to be called into action this year. And the emperor is like, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Um, but how do I love also the world is mirroring the death card? So I close the door, boom. Just like I said before, like the biggest problem with closing doors is it does mean transformation. And yes, sometimes it's scary, but sometimes it's exciting. Because I really feel when you use that sword, you feel free inside. And I feel like don't let anybody take that from you. Not only is the world a great energy to, first of all, following justice, right? I use that sword, boom, the next chapter opens. Knight of Pentacles says, that is my time. That is the right time for me to come in. And the Knight of Pentacles is sitting right next to the Lovers. So we have the Lovers twice, double Gemini, by the way, double Scorpio. We have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups. First of all, five, change. Interesting, we have a 6 and a 5, another 11. Some of you do have a twin flame. But listen, I feel like you would already know that. Now, I also want you to be careful because I do feel like someone may have gotten a title more than what they truly are. It's like two souls who wanted to come together in a past life, but for whatever reason didn't. And here we go now. Now is another opportunity. This is a new lifetime, a new opportunity. So, anyways, the 5, first of all, is change, right? But what it asks you to ask yourself, where is your focus? What are you focusing on? In the 5 of Cups, I'm focusing on what I have lost. Now, when I make the change that the 5 of Cups asked me to make, and it just simply means I'm not going to keep focusing on the past in a hurtful way. But what's behind the person in the 5 of Cups? 2 cups. 2 cups. They don't know about it yet. Here are those 2 cups coming right from your spiritual team. I have a feeling some of you, You were probably, I'm sure you were in other relationships. I'm sure you were in love before. I do think there are different vibrations to love, lower vibrational, free will, um, karmic. And yes, this could have been a karmic lesson, especially because we're moving into soulmate energy. But listen, once you learned that lesson, you learned it for eternity. I know what I was going to say. I also feel for some of you, even though you've been in other relationships, I have a feeling there's this feeling within you of, yes, I can fall in love, but I can't fulfill this one part of me, no matter what. And I feel like that's where your past life soulmate comes in. It's like your heart knows, right? It's almost like I don't want to, well, I'm going to say it, but it's almost like someone else owns your heart. Now, nobody owns your heart but you. But it's like they, and I feel like I don't even know this yet, but it's like, why have I never been completely satisfied as it relates to love? Well, that's where I feel like your past life lover comes in, your past life soulmate. All right, we have the hangman on the bottom of the deck. Slow down, you move too fast. So, the hangman, first of all, I'm noticing 12, which is my son's day of birth. But the hangman is a pause in the action. Look at that, we have temptation right underneath that. And look at this, the 10 of fire, 10 of swords, ugh. And then the 5 of swords. So, and the page of pentacles. This has been a learning experience. What am I holding? So the 5 of swords with the 10 of wands. Anytime I see like the 10 of swords or the 10 of wands, it can certainly signify a repeat pattern, right? This is definitely, I feel like you trying maybe over and over and over again. But I do feel like this is something you were meant to learn. So it may be karmic for some of you, but this is not happy energy. This is stressed out. This is where I feel like maybe you're putting all the effort into something and not receiving the way that you should. And then temptation again. But then the hangman. So, in a way, yes, the hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. And I definitely feel like that is some of this energy, but I feel like your spiritual team is like also saying, even the Knight of Pentacles, like, we have to keep you in the hangman position until you close that door. All right. Let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. I forgot that I had my coffee. Mm, yucky. It's cold. All right. Let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Let's go deeper. Let's go down another level or up. Ooh, Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. We'll see if it makes its way out. That's unconditional love. The hangman again. Now, it is connected to the devil. Also connected to the Emperor. That's the Nine of Swords. Worry. Lots of worry. But it's unnecessary worry. That's the meaning of the card. It is a nine, or in a universal year nine. This is a time of reflection, but it is that final reflection. I'm telling you, this is the best year to really, well, know what you want and then go after it. And sometimes that simply begins with an energy change. Yes, there's a lot of fear. Can talk about sleepless nights. Some of you, I have a feeling there's someone you're connected to in your dream world, like the 5D. Um, and it kind of feels like, because it's coming over the Knight of Swords, I get this feeling that you receive this communication and it's like, sometimes things can feel so good that we don't trust it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I feel. And this worry, it just feels like it won't serve you going forward. But, our human self, I could see where, especially if I've had like relationships or even just like one major relationship that just, again, really wasn't good for me. Um, and again, there's someone who's like, who's been in your heart, but I just feel like you don't know this. Death card right below that. What would divine say about that energy? Divine would say, step out of the way, let go of control, and trust in us. There really is no need to worry. And that worry definitely is part of the past. But I feel like there is nothing to worry about as it relates to your future. Now, do I feel like, let's say, whatever door needs to be closed is not closed? Do I feel like this opens up? I don't. Because I feel like that is the most important part of it. And it doesn't always have to mean like saying goodbye to someone, leaving a job. Sometimes it's within our own thought system. I'm not going to allow my past to have any influence on my decision making moving forward, right? I'm not going to let fear be the reason I don't do something. I'm going to try to walk through it. I'm going to give it a chance. I feel like that wanted to come out. Hello, soulmates over the soulmates. Now, you guys, I'm going to tell you something. By the way, let's put out the king first. King of Swords can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But it certainly doesn't have to be. But let me tell you what I was thinking. Or, like I talk to my guides during a reading. I don't talk out loud, but I do talk to them. And one of the things I had just said is if this is a past life love, trying to come back together in this lifetime, show me the soulmates. And what is the very first card we get? The soulmates. Now, that is my confirmation. That is my confirmation because, it tells me a couple things. I mean, I already know this, but it tells me that our guides are very active in our reading and they're listening, right? I asked for the soulmates if this is past life, and the first card that comes out is the soulmates. So I know that they're listening and guiding us. Quite beautiful, and I want to thank them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we have two soulmates. Well, maybe both are now closer to the same vibrational energy, which is important. And then we have the King of Swords that follows that, which certainly can be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But you know what I'm going to say, most of you, like I don't really read them as signs. So this King to me, especially coming over the Knight of Pentacles, which is definitely energy I can trust. Not only can I trust it, I I want the Knight's involvement in my life. So to me, this feels like if, let's say I've been in a relationship where communication was just bad, it could be like the energy of someone ghosting you and then they reach out and then they ghost you again and then they reach out. It's a mind game. It's a mind game. And man, Leo, I don't feel like you play that game too long. So to me, the King of Swords would represent someone who comes in with good communication, loving communication, definitely is connected to the world. So it feels like, he or she is part of this soulmate, of the soulmates. But this would be someone who definitely has integrity, good communication skills. This is someone I feel like, if they love you, they'll say they love you. It's not someone who's going to censor themselves. If I love you, I'm going to say I love you. And I feel like very quickly you'll figure that out. I feel like the King of Swords and the Emperor are two of the same. They're the same person. And one of the main reasons I feel that is because the Emperor is definitely someone that we can look up to. The Hangman coming over the Emperor, again, um, it feels like divine is just like we have to wait. But everything feels so good about the energy that's coming towards you. All right, let's keep going. We have the Three of Wands over the Lovers. So, Three of Wands. First of all, you're doing exactly what Judgment is asking you to do in the Three of Wands. You're living in the present moment, not the past. Even though this speaks, I definitely feel like for a lot of you, this speaks of past life love. I feel like in this lifetime, this is really an optimistic energy. It is different than the Nine of Swords. They can't live in the same energy. This is someone who says to divine, I know that my ships will come in their divine time, especially coming right next to the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about the right time. But again, it is divine timing. But this is saying, like, I know that you'll bring my ships in. I just know it. I know my blessings will reach me. But coming from an optimistic mind, believing it. especially coming right over the lovers. Some of you could certainly be feeling this energy. Though I do feel like some of you are so wrapped up in another's energy, but I feel like it's an energy that it doesn't change, so I have to change. Three cups, 33. And some of you have a master number 33, life path, but you also may have a personal year 33. But this is kind of beautiful because these two threes are, I feel like, really what the energy is calling for. So, first of all, optimism, right? Just knowing that your gifts, and that's exactly what Mother Mary says, I open the door to more of God's gifts. So, what I'm doing, I'm kind of stepping out of the way and trusting in divine. And then the Three of Cups, that's the energy of joy, but it's a reason to celebrate. We have the Hermit. 2025 is all about the Hermit's energy. And then we have the Queen of Cups. The Hermit is illuminating this Queen. Um, for water, we have Cancer, Scorpio, um, and really the Two Cups represent Pisces. So we'll just say we have all the water signs on the board. So the Hermit coming over the Death card, it is about reflection, right? But it's really final reflection. You know, it's interesting because the Nine of Swords is coming right under the or right above the Hermit. So two nines that are connected. One is seeking really spiritual wisdom, to use on this earthly plane, by the way. And it's illuminating the Death card, transformation. So maybe what it's asking you to do is to reflect on energy that's just not working in your life, but see it through a spiritual lens. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it from a spiritual lens, you know that you're never really stuck. It certainly can feel that way. But the hermit, the wisdom that the hermit is seeking, the hermit finds. Because then it's illuminating the Queen of Cups, who's holding this big cup in her hand. Now she's coming over justice. But I'll be honest, I feel you're the queen. Male or female, I feel you're the Queen of Cups here. And or the Queen of Cups is coming in for you because I feel like I don't feel that this is who you're cutting out of your life, so to speak, because she is looking towards the future. She's looking towards the world. So this could definitely represent that the area that would best serve you to look at to reflect upon would be your emotional house. That may be where you need clarity, or even, let's say, spiritual help. We have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands mirroring the Death card. Five of Wands is a lot of ego. Five of Wands is a lot of drama. Five of Wands, I can easily get pulled into that energy. To me, it is lower vibrational energy. Everybody wants to be right in this energy. Nobody wants to back down. And because it's a five and it is asking for change, it definitely is showing, mirroring the death card that, again, I feel like what's got to go just feels kind of drama filled anyway. Not only that, but seems to cause you a lot of worry, you know? Feels like like it's almost blocking the blessings you deserve. And when I see the Five of Wands, I feel like because again, it's a five, asking for change, coming over the world. The best course of action I can take in the Five of Wands is just to leave it. Because if I'm expecting an apology, I'm not going to get it. If I'm expecting someone to say, you were right, I was wrong, not going to happen. But here's the thing, you don't need that. You don't need that. You already know what you know, and that's good enough. And then we have the King of Wands. So certainly can be you. Um, we do have Aries on the board. King of Action. It's interesting because I feel like both the kings and the emperor are the same person. Now, unless like, okay, you may know, like, no, it's an air sign or no, it's a fire sign. But really, I'm feeling like it's the same energy. And, the King of Wands to me, again, is the King of Action. This is someone, because it definitely feels like a love reading, Leo. It's interesting because I feel like that's all it really wants to talk about. So this must be pretty major. But this is someone who will show you. I feel like this king will tell you, I love you. This king will show you. And he's mirrored by the Three of Cups. So I feel like this is good energy. All right, what do I want to look at? Even though I feel like it's just telling the story. Um, again, of past life lovers who didn't have the opportunity for whatever reason in a previous lifetime, that same type of temptation could have existed back then too. But I feel like this is the opportunity to truly overcome and to then connect. But I feel like the overcoming, let me put it a different way. Sometimes closing a door, closing a chapter, doesn't mean immediately I always feel immediately better. Though I do feel like for some of you, you will. It is like this sense of freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from fighting, freedom from egos, freedom from drama, freedom from someone who, you know, talks to me and then doesn't talk to me, and then talks to me and then doesn't talk to me. And because many are having spiritual awakenings this year, you'll definitely have this realization. All right. What I'm going to do, because I'm not done yet, I just feel like the reading is not over yet. I'm going to go right down the middle. Age of Pentacles. Well, that kind of feels like a lot of you've been on this learning, been in this learning stage, let's say. And it really is an opportunity to learn, like on a soul's level, and then evolve from that. Hangman kind of feels like that's like it's saying that, like, first we got to learn this lesson, and then we're free to move on. We have the Ace of Swords, interesting, coming over the Knight of Swords, also the Death card. We have the Nine of Wands, you're getting a lot of nines. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if someone reaches out, and it could be totally out of the blue. Um, when I see the Ace of Swords, I forget what deck it is. They call it triumphant success. I call it my yes card. But I also feel it's truth. Like anything spoken through that energy is truthful. And then we move into the Nine of Wands, so another nine. But this nine is all about looking back. Remember in the beginning of the reading, I said, like, you can look back from 2017 to, the end of 2024 and really see, like, okay, where have I been stuck? What keeps pulling me to it? What do what areas would it serve me to no longer accept? Nine of Wands is really about your growth. I call this person my spirit warrior because they were bold enough to look back. But this is looking back without judgment, even though it is coming over justice. I feel like for some of you, it's like this realization that you just deserve more than you've been receiving. The Nine of Wands is about your growth, but it is also touching the two soulmate cards. So it could be because I feel like a lot of times soulmates, it's important they live their life. It's important that you live your life. It's important that there's, because I feel like there's certain lessons that your soul really wanted to learn in this lifetime. Why? So your soul can expand. Remember, when your soul learns a lesson, it then becomes your power. It doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. You do have to know that you deserve this. And yes, I do feel like it does mean that chances are someone doesn't deserve you. Now, as I say that, I'm not really putting them down. I just feel, and I felt this a lot lately, where there are just people who are more than okay living in lower vibrational energy. You know, they maybe they enjoy that. But I feel like once you start to evolve, once you start to have this transformation, and because judgment is right in the middle of the top spread, looking over at the lovers. Um, this is your spiritual team telling you the same thing. All right, beautiful. It's go time. This is activation. It's coming over the Five of Cups, but it's also coming over the lovers. I feel like this is you saying yes. I mean, do you know about this soulmate before you close a certain door? I have a feeling you probably feel it. And I'm not going to say that everyone like has that door closed, even though I feel like it's a big part of it. Maybe before this starts to evolve itself. But here's the thing. I feel like if that's the case, then I'm just bringing a bunch of heaviness and crap to this next relationship. It means that I haven't reflected. Knowing your own worth in the Nine of Wands is really important. And that is really what you figure out in the Nine of Wands. Inspired action. That means like the action steps that your guides are going to ask you to take will be very clear. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have been dreaming. I'm saying dreaming, but you may be connecting actually to someone. Well, to a soulmate. Hmm. Okay. I just want to look at this Knight of Swords real quick because he's coming into the reading. We have the Three of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. Wasn't what I was expecting. That this Queen does have her back to the Three of Swords. She is holding this pentacle that the Knight of Pentacles promises to bring in. And I kind of feel that's what it means. Like, I'm putting my back to this Three of Swords. Some of you could have been in, a repeat pattern. Could have been three times. Like someone broke your heart three times. Am I going to let them break it for a fourth? Or am I just going to move on? Um, I'm just going to come over. I don't even know what, but I feel like taking just a few more cards. Okay, we're going to take what's face up first. The Eight of Swords, self-created prison. That makes sense with the Nine of Swords right there. The Page of Swords. Interesting, we have the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords, the Six of Swords, the Five of Cups. But now normally, if we didn't have all this before us, I would be like, the Five of Cups, someone's focusing on, again, what they have lost. But because the Six of Swords is coming before that, I feel like this is you having that realization. And I want to add one more thing where I feel like someone of the past had immature type communication. And I do feel like it hung you up for a while. And I feel like that's what the Eight of Swords is. That's a self created prison. What that means is I'm putting blocks around me and building up walls to protect me. But your spiritual team would say, you don't need those walls. Your intuition is what protects you. We protect you. If something is not good, which I'm sure you probably got, we'll send you a red flag. Now, often we ignore those red flags. But I do feel like spiritual team is like, but we do send them. I feel like this time you're listening. Because the Six of Swords means whatever has been toxic to you, you're leaving it in the past. And then I find it interesting that it's moving into the Five of Cups, which I feel like is then opening up the soulmate's energy. Justice again. I guess the best thing to say here is take that sword, use it wherever you feel like you need to use it. Because when you do, I'm telling you, you will feel balanced so quickly. Justice is really about making you whole again. And it's interesting, it's coming next to the Five of Cups. We're here because the soulmates are right there, actually, connected to those Two of Cups. They're behind this person. Well, there are those two cups. So it is like this feeling of, I feel like this justice was about using that sword. This justice feels like it's making you whole again. I feel like you must have evolved. You're willing, or you realize that maybe you put up these walls, and we all do it. But then as you become more and more spiritually inclined, you tend to do this less often. What's underneath that? Oh, the Ace of Swords. And in the Eight of Swords, when you uncreate that prison, I'm telling you, it's freedom. It's freedom. Goodbye, Nine of Swords. Hello, joy, optimism, love, really of the highest form. Goodbye, karmic lessons. I learned you, and now I do not have to repeat you. And hello, soulmate. Hello, someone who is just, you know, again, I get this feeling of like I could have had three serious relationships where each one I loved. But for some reason, I feel like, again, I never felt that full fulfillment. I may be looking for towards others to fulfill me, where really it's you that needs to fulfill yourself. And I feel like if you follow the advice, then this is just going to happen. I believe that. But I do feel like the hangman is like, I will stay in the hangman position until what needs realized is realized. And then I'll turn around for you. And that's a spiritual awakening. Oh, I don't know where this came from. Two Pentacles. Well, the good thing about that is that puts the ball in your court. You know, divine can bring in anything and everything. It doesn't automatically mean that we're going to say yes to it. And a lot of times it may be because we're not sure. And if you're not sure, like divine, are you trying to send me a sign? Ask for that sign again. The Ace of Wands, beautiful. because I feel like you will be inspired. This is about inspiration. This is action oriented, but it's also the promise of being guided through this period of time. Coming over literally the word love. I feel like sometimes I have to step out of the way and let divine help me and help you. They do. Really, this reading feels like it's more about your spiritual team trying to get your attention. That's why I feel like sometimes a reading is your sign. How could it not be? Because they are really trying to get your attention, but for the most beautiful reasons. They're trying to show you a way out so that you can then invite in, well, love. I mean, come on, this is a love reading. I mean, that's all it wanted to talk about. But the Two of Pentacles being, we are going to bring out the romance angels, but at this moment, the Two of Pentacles being the last question or the last card, it is you making a decision. It's you asking yourself, will this enhance my life? Is it more of the same? Well, because it's coming over the Six of Swords, you now are very clear about toxic energy of all forms. What you're understanding is it does take me to take physical action to then bring about my blessings. Two Pentacles, they call it the Juggler's card. I think it's more about using your logical mind instead of a fear-based mind. Because let's face it, I do feel like there is someone else who's kept you in this like fear-based type energy. Well, I mean, you kept yourself there. Let's be real. But they had a big part of that. Um, and ultimately, it is you who has to decide, is enough enough? I also love the Chariot coming right above love with two soulmates, two cards of the soulmates connected and also connected to the lovers and your spiritual team. There does seem to be some worrisome energy that I have to find a way to let go of. And again, it may mean I need to use the sword, but it is your sword to use. I also find it interesting, like I'm picking up that someone you may have dealt with does feel like, I want to say immature. Like I feel like the communication is not good. But I feel like they don't know how to communicate better. You know, I wish you could be who I want you to be, but they can't. They are who they are. So, what can I do about that? Do I want better? Do I want a higher vibrational love? I already know the answer is yes. How could you not? Of course, I may want this person like to play their part, but I'm telling you, I don't feel like they do. I don't feel like they will. And I do not feel like they are this soulmate that judgment is talking about. Now, karmic, perhaps. And don't fear that because, again, when you learn a karmic lesson, you learned it for eternity. Soulmates, they want to find each other. They don't even know that they want to find each other, but they know that they haven't felt true fulfillment in this lifetime. All right, let's bring in the romance angels. You know, it's like whatever the two of you could not complete in a last lifetime, it feels like the opportunity again to complete it. Now, I have a feeling like once this energy comes together, it has the potential of lasting the rest of your life. And I say that because I feel like whatever is happening with the world's energy, the next chapter, but the world being the next chapter is first of all, it's the last card of the tarot. And I feel like it's the closest energy to God. I definitely feel it's like a very spiritual time. Now, that doesn't mean like, everything is about my spirituality. You're seeing, you're seeing how divine can work in your life. And once you understand that, it's like, okay, now I want to pay attention to you. All right, let's take a few romance angels. Heart to heart conversation. I have a feeling here, having a heart to heart conversation, nah, it was more of a heart to ego conversation. I feel like this is talking about soulmates when they come together. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. I mean, really, why not? And I feel like that's what the Three of Wands is about. I am letting go of control issues. I am trusting in divine. I do know that they have my best interest at heart. I do understand that I had to learn some lessons to really be able to enjoy the potential of what this means for me. Take one more. One more go. Calling in your soulmate while they're here. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Remember, I said I felt like some of you were connecting, like, like it feels like a dream, but I feel you're really connecting, calling in your soulmate. They're calling in their soulmate. Wow. Past life relationship. I already knew this. You have known each other before. I knew this. I knew it. And I thank my guides. And then, hello, true love. The one thing I felt that I never truly found true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Heart to heart conversations. Let go of control issues. That just kind of means like step out of the way and let divine do what divine does best. Your affirmations or your prayers for a soulmate, a true love to come in, they've been heard. This past life relationship, I knew it right from the get go. I felt it. I felt it. I felt it. And then true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Leo, will you or won't you? I pray it is yes. I pray the divine helps you overcome what it is you need to overcome so that you can close this door. And by the way, closing the door doesn't always mean immediately, you feel better, but it does mean that something new opens up, right? It's about transformation. And the next card being the Chariot. Well, that is unlimited potential. But it is my seeds of intention to tell that Chariot where to go. That's why it becomes unlimited potential. Let's say I had the Nine of Swords and the Chariot. The Chariot's not going to go anywhere. It just won't. Because I don't feel like it has any potential. But with the Three of Wands now connected to it, and it being connected to love, wow, it is unlimited potential. I say potential because everyone has free will. And, the potential is if I figure out how to let this fear-based energy go, if I realize that sometimes I just given my energy to those who maybe just don't know how to love. I do feel this sense of immaturity. So, what else can I say? You have known each other before. Why? You've lived a past life. I am telling you, you didn't have the opportunity to come together last lifetime, and it could have been similar situations. This lifetime, here is that opportunity again. I feel like the Three of Wands is really the energy that I want to take on. Living in the present moment, just as Judgment is asking you. Why? Because this is where I send your signs. This is where I send your guidance. And there it is, right below it. And look at the promise of this brand new day, this brand new chapter. Again, Universal Year 9, that final push. What's got to go? Who's got to go? If I want my life to look different, better, even if I'm looking for true love, you're going to find it. This, I'm telling you, it doesn't fit with the rest. So that's what it's like using the broom and sweeping it out of your house. And to me, that's a signal to the universe. I am now open. And the universe will do the rest. And it does put the ball in your court. So, but at the same time, I feel like these heart to heart conversations, you're going to know, like, wow, this is truly someone special. But they're going to feel the same way about you. Past life relationship, true love. This is a life romance of a lifetime. And we know it's a soulmate because it's showing itself over and over again. I mean, what else? What else do we need? Let's do one more Mother Mary. That's what else we need. One more Mother Mary over this, I want to say beautiful reading, but I understand that, sometimes there's things that we are overcoming. So I think the best way to look at this is the potential. Again, it's first and foremost you realizing, who deserves your energy and who doesn't. Where have I gotten stuck in someone's cobweb? And how do I free myself? Do I free myself? That's what Judgment's waiting on. but it has to be up to you. It does feel like you're repeating a lesson from a previous lifetime. And again, the opportunity to claim that lesson and then ultimately claim this love. I would say claim this reading. Felt like a card flipped over, but it didn't. Okay, that's too many. Mercy. I am kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. I am kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. Yourself first. And I don't mean in an egotistical way. You have every right to put yourself first. And I feel like that's exactly what has to happen. All right, Leo. Wow. I'm going to leave it there. Um, I mean, you want to talk about love. And normally in a reading we talk about love, money, this, that. Man, this whole reading wanted to focus on love. But look at the love. And you will have that recognition that eventually I have a feeling the two of you will realize that you are past life lovers, that you didn't come together in a last lifetime. And there seems to be this sense of emptiness because of that. And that's maybe why I said with justice, like this is about making you whole again. Well, you are definitely whole again. And what a chapter to enter into. Goodbye, past. Hello, present and future. I love you guys so much. I thank you. I want to thank everyone who, for the month of December, I've really been using the donations to help my daughter. She's a single mom. And many of you know, when you have children and you're single, it's very hard to get through Christmas. But she did. And I think a lot of you sent her donations. And oh my God, I mean, you don't even know how much that means to me. Um, she's the only child I have left. She is my world. Um, so I thank you, truly. I am also going to do a giveaway with a couple different things. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do it. So I'm going to give away a few card decks, some jewelry, some other things, but I have to figure out how I want to do it. Um, I already know the question I want to ask. So we'll see, but keep your eyes open for that because I'll do that through the community post. And if you don't receive like the posts that I make, that means the little bell, like where you see subscribe, there's a little bell there. And when you subscribe to someone, it doesn't turn that bell on 100%. So a lot of people don't receive notifications. I get emails all the time and comments all the time like, I just lost you. Where did you go? And then they find, and then they come back home. Um, and a lot of times it is because that bell is not fully rung, so to speak. But yeah, so I'm going to do some giveaways. I look forward to that. Um, you know, my wish for you is that you just allow what wants to come into your life. This is really, yes, there's hardship in this reading, but I hope you see the beauty and the potential of truly what could, what you will call your life. romance of a lifetime with the true love of a past life. I love you guys. Can't wait to read your comments. I have a feeling some of you are going to be like, I just knew it. I felt that. I knew it was someone of a past life. That's you listening to your intuition. So that's my wish for you. I love you guys. I thank you. And I will see you next time at our table. Happy January. Happy New Year. Bye bye.